and thank you for joining us today. I must say it's amazing to see such a diverse range of people from all over the world on the call today. Before we get started, if you could please put yourself on mute. This will allow us to flow through the presentation without any hiccups. Any questions that people may have, our details will be on the last slide. What we're going to do is we're also going to send you a Q&A email after the presentation, which should clarify any questions that you may have. And if you still have questions, then please feel free to reach out to one of our team and we would be more than happy to assist you. Now, most of you on the call today would have seen our previous webcast where we gave you an introduction to life here in North Cyprus. We also spoke to an expat and a student, and we dived into the cost of living, the culture, and places to visit here on this island. In case you didn't watch our last webcast, I would strongly urge you to have a watch. You can find the details on our website, which is www.skylightventuregroup.com/webinars. So without further ado, today we're going to have on our panel Govender, our CEO, Mason-Claridge, Director of Private Clients, and myself, who heads up the Project Finance Division. So I'm going to give you a short intro on the panel before we get started. Cliff's background is private banking. He worked for Lloyds Bank for 10 years in various different sectors. He then went on to form a wealth management company in Qatar, which was extremely successful and went on to help many investors expand and diversify their portfolios across the world. Oliver's background is mainly in Forex. However, he started investing at an early age and has created a diverse portfolio of investments spanning from property investments in emerging countries to a heavy crypto portfolio, as well as various different financial technology instruments that help him build and grow his wealth, as well as his clients. Myself, I've been structuring finance for high net worth clients and developers for the last 6 to 7 years. My focus is debt and equity across the capital structure, helping our developer clients and high net worths obtain finance throughout Europe, the UK and the US. So some people on the call today may not know who we are or what we do. So let me introduce you to Skylight Venture Group. Now, we was founded in September 2020 with a focus on providing a boutique, streamlined service in each of the fields that we specialize in. We are a UK and North Cyprus registered company. Our UK trading name is Skylight Venture Group Limited, and our Cypriot trading name is Cyprus SVG Consultancy. Now, ultimately, we are an international advisory, and it's built on 3 main pillars. Pillar number 1 is financial advice for expatriates around the world. Pillar 2 is investments, and pillar 3 is project finance. Now, as a team, we have a combined total of over 25 years experience in the finance industry, and we've positioned ourselves as the go-to advisory company for expatriates, professional investors, and business owners seeking a personalized service. So now that you know a little bit about us and what we do, let's sort of crack on with the webinar. So in this webinar, we're going to be sharing the benefits of purchasing property here in North Cyprus, reasons to invest in North Cyprus, as well as alternative investments from around the world. So I'm now going to pass you over to Cliff, who's going to take you through the next few slides, and then we'll catch up soon.
Hi there, thanks Callum for that fantastic introduction and very informative start. So my name is Govender, and I'm one of the directors and CEO of the company here in North Cyprus. And what I'd like to do today is take you through 3 points really. First, we'll start off with the benefits of purchasing property in North Cyprus. Why purchase property or actually invest in North Cyprus? and towards the end we'll talk about some alternative investments. So what else do we have to offer? So if I could kickstart by going through some of the benefits of purchasing property in the Turkish Republic of North Cyprus. That's the current technical words or phrase that we use to describe the name of the country. So there's 12 reasons why North Cyprus is a fantastic investment. Some of these I've covered in the previous webcast. So if you hadn't had a chance, please do have a listen to the previous webcast. It's quite informative. But I'm going to focus on just one or two on this webcast, so I'm not going to cover all the areas that I've covered previously. So first and foremost, let's start off with the building boom. So why does North Cyprus have a building boom? Well, interestingly enough, if you've been on our first webcast, you would have heard me saying that the number of units that North Cyprus need to build on the east coast is approximately 15,000, and that's just to accommodate the increased levels of tourism that we've seen over the last few years. So you've got two parts of the island that has coastline. You've got the east coast and you've got the west coast. The west coast, we'll call that the Karinia area, and the east coast, we'll call that the Iskele area. So the east coast is where I want to really focus our attention. So the east coast runs from Famagusta all the way up to Bafra region, with Iskele being pretty much bang in the middle. And that's the most popular area right now in North Cyprus in terms of tourism, but as well as the massive investment opportunity that investors like yourself on this call will have. And Oliver will cover some of that later on. So with that building boom comes a number of benefits. So in this country, one of the biggest challenges with the banking system is that mortgages is not readily available. So what developers have done is come up with some ingenious, very flexible payment plans that allows investors of any category, whether you are a first-time investor or whether you are a high net worth or sophisticated investor, doesn't really matter, because the payment plans are so flexible and most of them interest-free, so you can avoid a mortgage and you can avoid getting into debt. And these payment plans are designed for any type of investor. So once we do a cash flow, and again Oliver will go through that a bit later on, you'll see how beneficial it is to work with developers using these payment plans. High rental demand is another major area. Again, with tourism on the increase year on year, we're finding that the price of rentals are increasing year on year, which means that as an investor, firstly, the demand for property is increasing, and secondly, your returns are increasing year on year. Returns we're seeing right now, this is probably just before COVID times, was around 15% on average per year, and that's just in the rental yields. That doesn't even take into account the capital appreciation, which is roughly around 10%. But during COVID, things have changed, and we'll cover a little bit about that later on. As we've seen around the world, it has had an impact to many economies, and North Cyprus is not exempt from that. But there are significant benefits of investing in the country, and we'll cover a few more points around that in a bit. Cost of living, I mentioned previously, but just to reiterate a point, the Turkish lira is the main currency in North Cyprus, which means that the cost of living here is really cheap. Currently, if you look at the exchange rates, one British pound is equivalent to almost 12 Turkish lira, and $1 is approximately 8.8 Turkish lira. So cost of living extremely cheap. So coming here for a holiday, or if you decided to live here permanently, your money will go a long way. Easy to get visa on arrival. There's no visa necessary or no visa application necessary in advance of coming to North Cyprus. So you can just turn up to the borders and you'll get a 30-day tourist visa straight away. If you have family on the island, that can be extended to 60 days. And if you like me and own property here, then as a property owner, you can get 90-day visa, which allows you to travel in and out as you wish. So in terms of residency, the application process has become really simple, and Skylight Venture Group will be able to help you if you decide to reside here on a long-term basis. So I won't go into too much detail on that right now, but if you are interested to learn more about residency, the requirements and its process, please do get in touch with us after this webcast. And I think we will now move on to the next section, just talking a little bit more about why not Cyprus. Right, so moving on to the next slide. For those that don't know, Forbes magazine is one of the most well-respected American magazines, and they have voted North Cyprus as the #1 best beachfront buy for 2021. And that is a massive achievement. And more specifically, they voted Iskele area on the east coast that I mentioned earlier as the #1 place to buy. And we're going to look a little bit later on into some numbers that backs up that claim. So going forward, why not Cyprus? So firstly, let's talk again about the Turkish lira. It is aligned to Turkey's main currency, and not to the euro, which is typically used in the southern part of Cyprus. And for that reason, the property here is extremely cheap. So what you'll find in North Cyprus, property around, let's say, £50,000 GBP. You'd find the same property in a similar area on the south side of the border for around 150,000 euros. So you can see the massive disparity between the north and the south. And that's what makes the north part of the island a fantastic investment opportunity. I mentioned this earlier as well, the mortgage system here is not brilliant. They don't really cater for expatriates, and therefore developers have taken it upon themselves to offer investors interest-free payment plans. They do offer longer-term payment plans as well, so outside of the interest-free, where you pay a mortgage rate, but they term it developer loan. So it is possible to get up to 10 years maximum with the developer for a small additional fee. But typically, majority of our clients, 99.9% of them, will go for the interest-free option because there's a significant saving for them versus paying a mortgage. The interest rates here can be between 6% right up to 10%, so it's quite high. And the reason for that is because inflation in the country is high, and North Cyprus is aligned to Turkey, and therefore the inflation is based on the Turkish economy as well. So for those reasons, fantastic place to invest if you're looking to buy cheap property that has really good propensity to increase in capital, as well as deliver attractive rental yields. And for those reasons, we see year in, year out, an influx of international investors coming to buy here, and that's created this massive property boom together with the increase in tourism. So next slide, we're going to talk a little bit about the country itself. So tourism again is the #1 sector in North Cyprus. There are other key sectors as well, and we'll name some of them a bit later. But tourism is by far the #1 sector. And that's because it's untouched, it's emerging, it's got fantastic sandy beaches, it's very clean and very cheap. So, you can't go wrong with that. In addition, you've got Mediterranean climate, which is pretty much all year round. It's well over 300 days of sunshine. It's a great place, to visit on holiday. What we tend to find is a lot of visitors to the island that's been coming and going for many years. also property owners on the island, so they tend to invest themselves, and they do that for two main reasons. One is because the demand is so high, the rental income is so high, and two is it's just another place for them to frequently visit on holiday because it's so cheap and they stay in their own properties, so it cuts the cost down even further over the longer term. The population here, surprisingly enough, and this may be a surprise to some of you on the call, is only just over 350,000 people. Some of them are Cypriots, born and bred. Some are Turkish Cypriots, some Turkish themselves from mainland Turkey, and a variety of other nationalities, which I'll mention in a second. What we have seen though over the last 12 to 18 months is a reduction of the number of people coming here due to COVID, which has affected not just North Cyprus but many other major tourist destinations. But we are seeing a recovery, which is really good to see. The government here absolutely fantastic. The mortality rate's extremely low over the time I mentioned. And therefore it's a very safe place to be, provided you meet all the regular government requirements for travel. You'll have absolutely no problems and you'll have a fantastic time here. So look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Moving on to the next slide. So Cyprus, the tourism industry here, it's been growing over the last few years. We've seen the government's commitment in its 5-year development plan, where this started back in 1978 and it's still going. What they have done is introduced a new plan. Thanks, Callum. Callum just passed this over to me. This is a plan that was implemented or announced rather just a few weeks ago by the Minister of Tourism Environment, Minister Fikri. And he's now introducing a 12-month tourism season opposed to just the normal 3-month summer season. So that has massive ramifications for the economy as a whole, let alone the tourism sector. And what that means is you can pretty much come to North Cyprus as a tourist all year long. So the normal shops and tourist activities that will typically be closed during the winter time will now be open. So for those Brits or other Western Europeans looking for winter sun breaks, why go to Turkey? Bodrum is normally one of the favorite places for Brits. Well, now you have the option to come to North Cyprus. So fantastic achievement by the government in getting this off the ground. So we look forward to a 12-month tourism season going forward. Right, so in terms of the number of people that's been coming to this country over the last few years, we've seen a steady increase from 2016, and that continues to grow year in, year out, which is fantastic for the economy. The British have been living in this country for many decades. There's roughly around 15,000 Brits that reside here permanently. And there's a large proportion of other expatriates here as well, some from Russia, quite a number from Scandinavia, particularly Norway and Sweden, a large proportion from Turkey, mainland Turkey, and definitely from the Middle East, and that's across the GCC countries, and as well as places like Iran, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, etc. So quite a diverse range of people that live on the island, which is absolutely fantastic, and it just creates a really good community feel. Moving on to the next slide. So a little bit about the other sectors that I mentioned earlier. Apart from tourism, we've got construction. Again, line 2 tourism. Construction is a major sector here with all the building that's going on, particularly on the East Coast. As a reminder, the government's looking to add another 15,000 units on the east side of the country, and that's to again accommodate for not just the growing local population, but the major tourist population. In line with that, education is another big sector, with more and more people coming here to live permanently. They come with families, so kids need to be educated. So the schools, the secondary schools, the universities are growing in numbers. There's plenty of universities. There's approximately 22 universities across the northern part of the island. And agriculture, being a very fertile country, the sand is perfect for agriculture, for growing fruit and vegetables. So they're very self-sufficient. It's a free market economy here in North Cyprus, which is really great. The administrative function, i.e. the government, is mainly funded by Turkey mainland. So Turkish lira is the dominant currency here. Saying that, they do have a lot of British influence, so you find GBP also widely used across the island. The per capita income on the island is just over $15,000 in 2014, and that's been growing year on year. The latest information on that is yet to be published, but tourism, contributed, well over 400 million almost 10 years ago now. So you can imagine, with the new figures about to be published very soon, we're expecting that to be 3 or 4-fold. So that's a little bit about the economy in North Cyprus. Moving ahead, just to talk more about the cultural demographics. Cyprus is a fantastic place culturally, to get to know the different cultures, and the different demographics of people, different backgrounds, different ethnicities is wonderful. So if you look back at the previous webcasts we've done, you will get a clear picture from that, on how diverse culture Cyprus is. We have a couple of main nationalities here. As I mentioned, the Turks and the Cypriot people are quite dominant in the numbers, and that's supported by the British, just over 4.3%, which is roughly around 15,000, and then followed by the Russians and Iranians on 2% each. So that sort of gives you a rough feel of the main demographic in terms of population size in North Cyprus. To summarize, it's a fantastic place to live. It's very safe, it's very affordable. From an investment perspective, plenty of opportunity to invest, significant gains on rental income as well as capital appreciation. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to Oliver. Oliver is our private client director, and he deals specifically with the property investments in North Cyprus. And he's going to just talk to you a little bit about some of the projects, the buying process, and what we have to offer in terms of a fantastic investment opportunity. So over to you, Oliver.
Hi guys. Thanks, Cliff, for the brilliant breakdown of the emerging opportunity North Cyprus has to offer. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. As you all know, my name is Oliver. I'm one of the directors here at Skylight Venture Group. I'd like to start by saying I've been investing myself into property for a very long time, and one of the most lucrative and profitable locations has to be North Cyprus. It is one of the best emerging markets out there today. We have a team of analysts in-house, and myself, I'm an analyst. We have run many numbers to come to the conclusion that North Cyprus is a brilliant place to invest, and come to the conclusion to put this on our portfolio and offer this to our clients. As you can see from the chart, over the last 5 years, capital appreciation here has been around 10 to 15%, depending on the location, obviously the property type, and whether you're buying a resale or a brand new property. Like Cliff mentioned, we pick the best resorts in the best locations, and we work with the top developers on the island. to give our investors obviously the highest possible rental yield and capital growth, and as well as trust when investing with us and in our recommended resource that we offer. So as a company, we also provide the service of renting out and fully managing our clients' properties for them, trying to make the process as smooth and easy as possible. You'll also have the option of guaranteed rental yields from the developers we work with, but from our experience, we can generate a lot higher rental yield, meaning your income's obviously going to be more significant than what it would be through taking the guaranteed rental yield. Over the next few slides, I'm going to show you a cash flow, what we do for our clients. It's basically all the numbers, so you can have complete transparency of how much exactly it's going to cost, and you won't have no hidden costs pop up after you've made that initial investment. As you can see, this property is a 1+1 apartment on a luxury resort and spa that we have. It's a brilliant place. I've actually got a property here myself. Completion's November 2023 with a 4 months grace period. The developers have this grace period for the reason if they don't complete on time, then they would be getting fined. So what they do is they give themselves a 4 months grace period just to make sure that they're covered and they're not going to get any hefty fines and have to pay back clients money, basically. But most of the developers that we work with, they never actually use this 4 month grace period. They tend to complete on time, if not sooner, which is good. Moving on, the size of this property, 60 metres squared plus 11 metre squared balcony, which is a decent size for a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment. Price 62k. That's it's a very, very small entry price, especially to own a property. You will own that property outright for £62,000. There's obviously some additional costs like VAT, stamp duty, solicitor fees, utility, transfer fee for the title deed. But we'll run through them now. Obviously, the VAT is 5% of the property price. So in this case, £3,100. Stamp duty, £310, 0.5% of the price of the property. Transfer fee, which is for you to transfer your title deed into your name. That's normally 3% of the price of the property, but at the moment, government have actually got a program to influence investors to invest in, and they actually have reduced this from 3% to 1%, which is good for investors. This was till the end of 2021, so 2022 they may carry on the program because it's it's proven to be very successful. But we'll have to let you know. I'm sure if you get in touch, we'll have this information, so we can provide that to you and let you know. Solicitor fee. This is a one-off payment up front of about £1,000. This is paid to the solicitor for conveyancing, due diligence, applying for the permission to purchase, which you have to apply for when you purchase property here. It is basically just to for the government to check if you have any criminal record, or basically if they want you to, and they will allow you to invest into their country. Solicitor does a lot of legal work, which is great. We always advise our clients to purchase through a solicitor, even though we do the due diligence ourselves on the properties that we have to offer and the developers that we work with. So nothing ever really crops up, but if it does, then the solicitor will definitely point that out, and we'll address that situation straight away. Utility fee, which is the connection of your electric and your water. This is, you know, around £1,500 to £2,000. This is paid a one-off payment after handover. So in this case, the property is completed in November 2023. This is when you'll pay this this payment for them to connect it. So then moving on to the furniture pack, this is approximately £4,000. This is for a 1+1, which will obviously include everything from, you know, bed, sofa, TV, soft furnishes, fridge, you know, air conditioning, basically everything. So your property is completed and ready to rent out and start generating you an income. So, you know, the payment plans here in Northern Cyprus, very flexible, depending obviously the developer and the resort that you choose to invest into. You know, I would give you recommendations based on your financial situation and, you know, your future aspirations. For example, this one in particular, this is completing in November 2023 and has a 72 months interest-free payment plan. So, you know, for example, the payment plan would work like this. You pay the solicitor fee and the stamp duty. So the solicitor can pay the stamp duty and register your contract under your name. You'd obviously pay the 30% less the reservation fee. That's to exchange of contracts, and then they would be registered. Then you have 72 months to pay the remaining. In this case, 43,400, because you've already paid 18,600, and that is over 72 months interest free. Monthly payments of £603. It's very you know, financially suitable and affordable for lots of our clients and a lot of, you know, individuals that are looking to, you know, either add another property onto their portfolio, or, you know, start their portfolio, or just get onto the property ladder. Maybe the country that you're in is too expensive, or the requirements are too difficult for you to do that. So, you know, Northern Cyprus would be a great place for you to, you know, explore and start this journey. So, you know, annual returns on these property investments, you can see, you know, 12 to 15, even, you know, up to 17% through your yields. You know, let me run you through what I mean by that. So, you know, say, for example, peak period, which is 25 weeks of the year. Say you rent out this 1+1, say conservative £375 per week at 90% occupancy. You know, it's £8,473. That plus, you know, off-peak period, say minimum rental of £250 a week at 60% occupancy, you know, £4,050, altogether about £12,487 income that you're going to see from your property. If you take out, you know, the maintenance fees, the management costs and the rental income tax, you know, you'll be left with a net income of about £8,715, which, you know, is 14% yield, which is, you know, a good yield for, you know, a property investment. You wouldn't find, you know, this yield in, you know, other countries, you know, such as more developed countries. You only really find these sort of yields in tourism hotspots where you can rent out on, you know, short-term lets. There is obviously the long-term lets that you can rent out if you want, you know, slightly more security, and you know, you wanna know exactly what you're going to be earning every month. You know, as a company, we do have the rental management division, which rents out all of our clients' properties for them and generates a, you know, generous yield of, you know, minimum really 10% yearly, but like I said, up to, you know, 15 to 17, maybe even higher. So, you know, we actually have a online portal which we give access to our clients once they've purchased their property and it's ready to rent out, where they can access, they can actually see when their property is being rented out for, when it's available, if they'd like to come stay themselves, or if they want to let one of their friends or their family come and stay maybe for a cheap holiday, and also see costs and everything that needs to be paid. Obviously, as a company, we do help make these payments for you, so you don't have the the stress and the worries or concerns of doing this. But yeah, moving on. So I'm going to run through a few of the options we have, a few of the resorts that we can offer, the facilities they have, project prices and things like this. So East Coast is Bafra, Ischia, Boaz, the Famagusta regions, and then the West Coast is Corinna, Saint-Père, Bacelli, and the other areas. So the Bafra region, it is a tourism hotspot. It's one of the sunniest points and the hottest points all year round in the island, because it is the point of the peninsula, so it's the end of the island. But we have a resort in Bafra. It is basically built on the beach, crystal blue water, white sandy beaches, beautiful restaurants, gym, everything you need on site, a mini aqua park, pool bars, there's even barbecue areas, indoor spa, indoor swimming pool, indoor gym, basically everything you need when you're either looking to go on holiday or even a staycation. If you live here, I actually tend to travel up here and have weekend breaks at this resort. It really is truly amazing, and as an investor, it's a good place to invest, because the capital appreciation here is very high, and the rental yield's also very high, because like I said, even through COVID, people are coming up to this resort for staycations. So you're always going to have your property being rented out and generating you an income. So yeah, moving on, Boaz, another great area. There's a Boaz harbour, which is it's got loads of boats there, loads of restaurants. It's a brilliant place to visit if you do come to North Cyprus. This resort is actually built on the beach as well, just a few meters. It's got a restaurant on the beach, very luxury, very nice restaurant actually. Brilliant food, really great people. But as an investor, this is a luxury sort of higher end a resort, and it has everything on site, all the facilities you need. So you can't go wrong with investing here either. The capital appreciation, for example, on the slide you can see these villas. These are actually beachfront villas with infinity pools. When they launched off, they were 450,000 pounds. They're now up to 600,000-700,000. The project launched just under 2 years ago, sorry. So you can run the numbers yourself. If you do buy off plan, then you can see ridiculous capital appreciation, more than what I mentioned before, 10 to 15%. But we like to be conservative when running numbers, so our clients are very happy when they go to sell their properties. But yeah, Ischia region actually got named the Forbes best beachfront by 2021 for investors, and this is Forbes magazine. I can imagine most of you have heard of it. It's one of the biggest financial magazines in the world. They actually named Ischia best beachfront buy for 2021. So then we have a lot of projects here. I have a few properties along the east coast, along the Ischia area myself. The one you can see here is a 7-star resort and spa, resort, hotel, casino and spa. It is it's a one-of-a-kind project. It's built up of 3 high-rises, all have amazing sea views. It's a 2 to 3 minute walk from the beach. Swimming pools all around the resort. It has the casino and the hotel, which obviously, as you can imagine, generates high rental yields. There's only a certain amount of rooms actually in the hotel, so they tend to use the rooms in the apartments. So moving on to the west coast, this is the Corinna, Ascenta Pair, Baccelli region. It's a lovely place. I have a property down there myself also, but the market is a little bit more built up, a bit more saturated. I'd probably say, if you're looking to generate the highest possible income and returns from your investment, then the Ischia, Bafra, Boaz regions are probably the best regions. But yeah, we do have some lovely projects there. Luxury, very, very luxury. Flexible payment plans, very modern. Private beaches also, very near to Corinna town centre. So yeah, it's still a good place to invest. Capital appreciation, you're probably going to see 5 to 8%, and rental yields, probably 8 to 10%. It's more of a long-term rental area instead of short-term, instead of benefiting from the tourism hotspot sort of area, which is the Ischia, Bafra regions. So moving on to our luxury villas, we have many villas. As you can see, we have a 7 bedroom, 8 bathroom villa, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and so on. The villas we have are very luxury. They are very, very high end. They do come with payment plans, interest free, and the rental yields you can see off these and capital appreciation, it can be very, very high also. Like some of these are off plan, some of these are completed. If it's off plan, then the payment plan is obviously going to be a little bit more flexible, and a little longer. But these villas you can probably rent out. We have a client base of ultra high net worths and high net worths that tend to come here a lot. Come here to for tourism, for travel. Some come here for the hotel and casinos, and a lot of them do ask to stay in our villas that we have available. So our clients that own these villas, they can generate £1,000 a week from these rentals. But we can't guarantee that this is going to be, you're going to rent it out that year. You might not rent it out, but if you've got enough capital and you'd like a luxury, luxury villa for yourself, holiday home for yourself and your family, then we do have some amazing options. And when you're not using it, we can rent it out to our high net worth clients and generate a nice income as well. And obviously they will take care of your property like it was their own. A lot of our clients tend to rent out and then buy, a few months down the line, because they fall in love with North Cyprus. It is a beautiful place. It's a hidden paradise. It really, really is. And this is, I'd never move back to the UK. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap up here. Pass back on to Cliff. Thank you for listening. I hope to hear from a few of you soon. We can offer you free inspection trips if you'd like to come check the island out. We'd be happy to show you around, show you a few of the projects, run some numbers, even do a financial plan, an investment plan for you. See if it's if it's in line with your future goals, your current situation as well. That's very important to take into account. But yeah, so I hope to hear from you soon. I'm happy, like I said before, to do one-on-ones, to start exploring some options with any of you guys. So yeah, take care, and I'll pass over to Cliff. Thanks now. Bye bye.
All right, so thank you, Ollie, for that. Very, very interesting indeed. I know that may have been a bit quick, as this is a webinar. Please do get in touch with us, and we'll be more than happy to look at some property investment options for you, and put together a more bespoke cash flow to show you exactly, how your investments perform, including the costs and returns. So Moving forward, in terms of alternative investments, so I mentioned this at the start, this is one of the areas that our company focuses on. Skylight Venture Group is the first investment company in North Cyprus to focus on providing investment advice to our local clients as well as our international clients. So we have a diverse range. Now, we've been through some of the North Cyprus property. We also have a number of other property opportunities across Turkey, the USA, the UK, France, Portugal, other parts of Western Europe, some parts of Asia like Thailand, and we're open to various other jurisdictions. So do get in touch with us if you're interested in those areas or any other areas you may have in mind, because we're more than likely to have some contacts on the ground. Other types of investments are generally short to medium term, and these are focused mainly in the financial technology, or for short fintech. You may have heard that term. And the other is based in asset-backed securities or asset-backed investments, and these are typically loan notes which are between 12 and 24 months, paying very generous interest rates. These are all fully secured investments, so you're very well protected. It also, it's governed by UK legal contracts, so it's very safe. Our technology investments, likewise, are mainly involved with the crypto or the digital asset market, and it's allowing investors a way to invest safely and not directly into the crypto market. So please do get in touch. There's quite a lot more I can tell you about this area, but due to time, we'll leave it there for now. Get in touch with us, and we are more than happy to sit down or have a phone conversation or a Zoom conversation and give you more details. So thank you so much for listening to me. I appreciate your time, and let me hand over back to Callum, and he'll take you through the last bit of the presentation. Thank you.
So thanks, Cliff. That's very interesting indeed. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge on the past few slides. So we're now coming to an end to the presentation. I hope it's been an informative and eye-opening experience for you all. Before we close and close off and let you guys go, I'd like to say a few words on investing, our clientele, and the next steps moving forward. So being investors ourselves, we understand that investing is all based on trust. So before we offer any of our clients our investments, we take the first steps by investing first. Now, this ensures that our clients are not alone on their investment journey. We are right beside you. Now, I must say that I still receive calls from investment companies on a daily basis trying to get me to invest in their products. Now, from experience, and I'm sure that the panel and yourselves at home agree, it gives you comfort knowing that your investment advisors are also invested into the products that they are offering you. Now, moving on to our clientele. Like many of you on the call today, our clientele range from around the world. We've got a completely global clientele. Our client base is around 1,500 people from the following countries. You can see it on the slide in front of you, but just to name a few sort of geographical locations: the Middle East, Asia, USA, Europe, the UK, Australia, and this is just to name a few. So before setting the company up, me, Cliff and Ollie got together and we wanted to have a clear goal to achieve and to strive for. Now, our goal is very important to us, and it is to build generational wealth for our clients. There's been a lack of support in the marketplace, and we feel like we've filled the niche quite nicely. So thank you for joining today. The next steps would be to get in touch with one of our advisors. So you can give us a call, you can ping us an email or a message on WhatsApp, and we can see how we can best support you, not just purchasing property in North Cyprus, but we also offer a wide range of other services, such as will writing to protect your assets, insurance, pension assessments and reviews. We offer property investments in over 8 different countries. We offer financial technology investments as well as loan notes and bonds. So we've got quite a diverse range of products to help support you, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. So we'll see you on our next webinar. Thank you.